Charles, you good?
I'm golden.
You're golden. Stay golden, pony boy.
No, just gold. Stay gold, pony boy.
Sorry.
Don't ruin one of the
Sorry.
best lines ever.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Okay. All right.
The Outsiders.
The Outsiders.
S.E. Hinton. She was 14.
It's actually
How
from
old
Robert
was she?
Frost. Yeah, I think
She was 14 years old when that book was published.
Whoa.
Nature's first green is gold.
Yeah, I missed that one, but you're good.
All right.
Dude, that's like the best book ever.
Says you.
It really is. It's a good one.
Oh, it's been a while. Maybe we should do a reread. Anyway.
I would read it again.
All right. Maybe.
I read it for the first time as an adult. It was great.
Yeah.
It's a quick read. I mean,
I forced my friend when we were in like
I
7th
love
or
how
8th
you
grade.
force
I
your
forced her
friends
to
to
read it, and it made her cry. And she was like, "I hate you."
it's a sad one.
It is a sad one because stay gold, pony boy.
Nice. Okay. All right. Welcome back, friends, to All Book Club. We are back for our 4th season, episode 1, and this is going to air on October 4th. And we are coming at you with some spooky, maybe reads, maybe some light stuff at the end.
Some Halloween things.
Some Halloween things. We're having Ashley kick us off.
Every month is October for me, so I feel like I typically go with the creepy stuff. So,
Creepy.
yeah. The first one that I'm going to talk about is a graphic novel from Ashley Robin Franklin. 3 first names, but it's okay. I'll look past it. The Hills of Estrella, Roja. So this was great. It's a very quick read, but it is a supernatural kind of story, and I bookmarked what the creature is, and it's called a Lukuza, which is apparently a witch that can shapeshift into an owl, and they eat children. So, yeah. So, so the story begins with Mary is a daughter of a family that lives in a city outside of Austin, Texas. So she finds out that her grandmother passes away, and they have to return to Estrella Roja, which is a nondescript, creepy, off-the-grid town, also in Texas. So they go, and Estrella Roja has a very strange town. Like, as soon as she gets in there, it's just very weird. It's very creepy. No one's talking to them. They treat outsiders really poorly. But she's not technically an outsider. She was born there. Her mom moved, wanted a different change of pace, which is understandable because this city is like terrible. Like there's nothing. It's a small town, so everybody knows everybody's business. So there's another character named Kat. So Kat and her co-host, they have a podcast. And they examine the supernatural and the paranormal and stuff like that. So Kat gets a little note from an anonymous person saying, I want you to know about the Devil's Lights in our town. You should find out about this. Like, it's a well-known thing. These devil lights, they come out every single night. It's just red lights that they don't photograph very well. You have to see them. And it's signed a friend. So Kat decides, I'm going to take my spring break, and I'm going to head over there. I'm going to do some research and maybe run some interviews. So as is expected, when Kat gets there, she's treated like an outsider. So everybody's super rude to her. No one wants to talk to her. They keep telling her, like, you're messing around with business that you have no part dealing with. They're trying to get her to leave. But Mary, who's technically an outsider, but not really, like she grew up there but isn't there anymore, she decides, all right, I'll interview with you, no problem. So then there is a little bit of a romantic flare-up between Kat and Mary. It's cute, yeah. It's a nice little, it's like your typical awkward teenage flirtatiousness. But
My favorite kind.
Yeah, of course. So one night Mary does not believe in the supernatural at all. Like, she just thinks she's a skeptic, as Kat calls her. So they decide to take a trip out into the woods to check out the lights. And with that, they find like this archway with a skull, and they're like, what's this? So they decide to go in there, and they see like it's basically a huge winged bird, but it looks like it has a human face. They don't believe what they see at first because they're like, no way.
Which is a
What the
natural
heck is this?
response. Yeah.
And Mary's family is very they're clearly hiding some secret. Like there's something that they're not telling Mary. And Mary keeps having these like horrifying nightmares. And she keeps seeing the same place. Turns out it's the same place that she and Kat had visited. So I'll leave it there, but you'll find
cliffhanger.
It's really so good because it talks a lot about like family history. There's also like the supernatural paranormal element of, like creatures of legend and stuff like that. And then it kind of ends a little bit on a cliffhanger because they may or may not have seen a chupacabra. Ooh. So she might continue with another story with the same characters. It was great. It's like I said, it's a short read. I had never heard of these creatures before, so that was another cool kind of deep dive if you're interested in that kind of thing. But it was great. I really enjoyed it. It's definitely creepy. Like when they find the creatures when they come across the creatures, they're very creepy. And it was great. I really enjoyed it. It's not too scary or anything like that, but like my next book, which totally is. So the next one I'm going to talk about is Darkroom Etiquette by Robin Rowe. I honestly, looking at the cover, I never would have picked it up. It is not something that I would be interested in.
It looks like that singer guy. I can't remember his name now.
You name it, they all kind of look the same. But,
Shawn Mendes?
Yeah.
It looks like Shawn Mendes.
Thanks, Rosa.
Well done, Rosa. So anyway, not my favorite cover, but I
don't like Shawn Mendes.
I can't even name a single song from him, so to be fair. But anyway, so when I read the description of this book before I started reading it, it reminded me of Black Phone, which is a short story from Stephen King's son. And it's also a movie, which was phenomenal. I loved this movie. It was so, so good. But it had a similar plot line. I was like, I have to give this a shot. It is similar, but there are definitely some noticeable differences. So we meet Sayers. Sayers is a high school student, just so unbelievably cocky and full of himself, and he's loaded with money, has no idea how privileged he actually is. And as the reader, it's from his perspective. As the reader, you're like, God, this kid is so annoying. But he has his group of friends. They're all kind of Mr. Popularity. They're all cut out of the same mold. Mm-hmm. So Sayers is they're preparing for homecoming, and there's his group of friends. There's this boy named Evan who they just target him like he's just a kid that they're gonna pick on. And Sayers' one friend got suspended from the homecoming dance. He couldn't go to it because of bullying Evan. His friend decides to go to the homecoming dance anyway and then gets kicked out, so they all decide to leave the homecoming dance. They hop in their limo, of course, and then they are heading out. They're going to go back to Sayers' house because
Did they just leave their dates?
Yes.
What?
100%.
You're right. I don't like these kids.
So Sayers is crowned the prince of homecoming.
Of course he is.
And his girlfriend is the princess who's still back at the party.
Oh my God.
So anyway, he's planning this huge blowout at his house after the homecoming dance. Okay. So she's going to meet him there. They're all supposed to meet back at his house.
Bring me my crown.
Yeah. So his friend who got kicked out is all pissy about the fact that he can't be there. So they, as they're driving back, they spot Evan on the side of the road with a date.
No.
So they pull over, and to smooth things over, we'll give you guys a ride home.
Don't like where this is going.
No. So they get into the car, and it's keep in mind, most of the people in this limo are drunk. So that's another little element in there. But Sayers says things get weird very quickly. Like his friend is like trying to play it off like everything's good, where everything's smoothed over, but there's clearly he has malicious intent in mind. So they go to like the middle of nowhere, basically like a field, and they get out of the car, and Sayers' girlfriend is calling him, so he leaves to go get the phone call, and Evan and this kid wander off. So Sayers comes back and he's like, where are they? And they're like, I don't know. He took him into the woods. He's like, what do you mean he took him into the woods? Like, what does that mean? So they come back and Evan looks dazed. That's the way he's described, dazed. Not traumatized, not scared, not crying, nothing. Just he looks almost like a blank slate. So Sayers is like, whatever. Let's go back to my house for the party. So the next day, Evan's friend, like very aggressively goes up to him. He's like, what did you do to Evan? He's like, I didn't do anything to Evan. And he's like, well, he's not here now. He's never coming back. And he's like, what? So Sayers is like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So anyway, Sayers, again, this is just how he is. He's very much like, it's not my problem. I'm going to do whatever. So he goes on a field trip this day. He goes on a field trip that's kind of think like Storm King, like that kind of a museum. So it's in the middle of nowhere. He decides to drive rather than take the bus. So it's in the middle of nowhere. He notices that like he's losing his cell reception and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. They go on this field trip, and then afterwards his two friends decide they're going to drive back with him. So he hops in the car. They're going back, and he's, as you would expect, rude to the wait staff at this restaurant that they stop at.
So many red flags.
I know. So the waitress hits him in the face with a pie, and he gets mad, storms off.
Okay.
Leaving his phone and not knowing where he is.
Oh, boy.
And so he leaves, and he
Leaving his phone and his friends.
And his friends.
Right.
So he hits the road, and he describes the road as getting more narrow and more trees, and like there is no turnoff. The roads aren't marked. He doesn't know how to get out. He just keeps making circles.
Oh, boy.
So he gets run off the road and pops one of his tires.
Uh-oh.
Out of nowhere, a car pulls up and runs him off the road. The guy gets out. He's in a truck, and he's like, oh, I have a spare. I'll help you out. And then he's like, can you just get me a phone?
Oh, my
and he's
God.
like, yeah, get in the car.
No, don't
So
get it.
I'm terrified
So
right now.
so he gets in the car, and he starts driving. He's like, maybe thinking better of himself. He's like, maybe you should just drop me off here.
Yeah.
So the guy drops him off in the middle of nowhere further. So he treks back to his car and spends the night in his car. The next morning, the same truck comes back. And he's like, I felt bad leaving you out here all night. I have a spare tire. Let me help you out. And he's like, I just need a phone. That's all. I just need a phone. And he's like, I'll take you to get a phone. Don't worry.
No.
He then injects him with something.
Oh, my God.
And kidnaps him. The next time that Sayers wakes up, he's in an old-timey children's bedroom.
Oh, my God.
And he's shackled to the floor.
Oh.
So this whole time, he's like, what? Like, what am I supposed to do? He opens the window, and it's like the frame of a window, but it's concrete.
Oh, my God.
So he has no way out.
This is my nightmare.
This guy, Caleb, is the guy who kidnapped him. And he's like actually super nice to him. He brings him food. He's like very nice to him.
Other than the shackles.
Other than the shackles.
And the kidnapping.
So
Yeah.
he's treating him as if he's a little boy. And then you find out that Caleb feels that he's not Sayers. He's his son who was kidnapped named Daniel.
Oh, my gosh.
So he's like bringing him crayons and stuff like that. And the only way that Sayers can get out of the situation is to pretend that he's Daniel.
Oh, my God.
And that's where I'm going to leave it.
Oh, wow.
It's a long one, but the chapters are really short, and boy, does it go fast. It's fantastic so far.
Oh, my God.
So,
I'm absolutely terrified.
it is absolutely a very suspenseful thriller, and I don't know who to trust because I don't trust his family upbringing. I
Yeah.
don't trust his friends. And I don't really know how I feel about Caleb. I'm like, and he's basically just learning how to play Caleb's game to get out of this alive.
Oh, boy.
And no one's coming for him.
First rule of getting kidnapped, appease your kidnappers. That is the first rule. If I've read enough serial killer books to know that is always a good strategy.
So again, that's Darkroom Etiquette by Robin Rowe. I highly recommend it. Very good.
Wow. Well, thank you, Ashley.
Yeah, no
for,
problem.
We're all
Free for the
down.
nightmares.
keeping us on a light.
You're welcome, everyone.
So my book for today is by Betsy Cornwell, and it's Reader, I Murdered Him. Took this book out without knowing anything about it, so I was very delighted to find out that it's about Adele, who is the ward in Charlotte Bronte's Jane Eyre. And if anybody is not familiar with it, Jane Eyre, Mr. Rochester fall in love, and this sweet little ward was the reason why they got together. She was basically, Jane was brought in to kind of be her governess, and then she just gets shipped off to boarding school, and that's the last we ever hear of Adele, which is kind of very sad. So I was kind of happy to read this book to kind of give a different perspective of what happens to Adele when she goes to boarding school. So to kind of backtrack a little bit, the book starts off with her kind of remembering her time with her mother at the brothel because, you know, that's where she grew up. Basically, her mother passes away, and then she moves into Mr. Rochester's house, becomes his ward. And then Jane comes in, basically changes everything. And then because they're having a family now, that she gets shipped off. And that's where the story picks up. So she basically has no family. Her family basically, her mother's dead. Her father doesn't really acknowledge that that's her father, but she knows that's her father. And Jane, who is the only companion that she's had for so many years, kind of is just like, I'm sorry to send you away, but sorry, got a new family now. But what was interesting about this is you find out that before she even goes away, she actually was friends with the wife that was in the attic, Bertha.
Oh.
Like they were very close. Like she looked
Adele
up.
was.
Adele was. Like she was kind of a mother figure to Adele until like she figures out like what like happened. So fast forward, she's in this like finishing school, boarding school, and basically like, you know, all the fun things that they teach you, how to be a proper lady and all of that. And then during a ball, she finds her best friend kind of gets like assaulted by a man. She ends up killing him. And the only person to kind of talk her out of it is this con person who is pretending to be a male at the party, but is secretly a female. She's a transgender named Nan. And she basically is a con artist. And she welcomes her into this like underground world where, you know, there's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And she kind of teaches her con ways, like teaches her how to steal, teaches her how to protect herself, and just basically opens up this whole world to her, to Adele. And basically teaches her that even though society is supposed to be like high etiquette, like men are supposed to be gentlemen, like not all men are gentlemen.
Yeah.
And you have to kind of protect yourself. And Nan was the perfect like teacher. Mm-hmm. She also ends up falling in love. It's so good. But I don't want to say too much because, again, it does go on a little bit. There's a lot of, like, escapades, and she kind of goes on, like, a little vengeance streak here, which I absolutely love. There's a little bit of, is it a fourth wall or the fifth wall being broken when fourth wall, right? Yeah. So when they make a commentary to the reader. So, like, from the title, reader, right. She flat out says, like, I am a murderess. Like, that's what I do. But basically what I loved about this book is the fact that even though it should be a retelling, it's not. Mm-hmm. You kind of like, it made me want to reread Jane Eyre and just be like, oh man, maybe Mr. Rochester should not be on this high pedestal I put him on all these years because like, yeah, he like locked up his wife in the attic. Yeah. That should have been the first red flag. Yeah. But as the story progresses, you find out like there were so many good twists and plot. Like there was just so many things that happened, and it was so layered that you like forget for a minute that like you forget that Jane and Mr. Rochester exist until like they come back again at the end, and you're like, oh, what? Like that happened. So I don't want to ruin too much, but it's an excellent read. Again. You don't have to read Jane Eyre to kind of like get it, but this made me want to read Jane Eyre again, so I might do that. And that's my book.
All right, so mine is The Scarlet Alchemist by Kylie Lee Baker. So this one's not coming out until the 3rd. So when this episode comes out, it should be out. Yeah. So basically, I heard about this when it was pitched as like. Fantasy Tang Dynasty China, inspired by Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh, sign me up!
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, so I don't watch anime as much as I used to, but this is so good. Full Metal
Wait.
Alchemist.
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood or
Brotherhood.
Sorry. Awesome.
Brotherhood. Yeah, will always be one of my favorite manga animes. Like it's just so well plotted. Everything is just, and it ends. It actually ends.
Yeah, we need those.
Yeah.
Sometimes manga writers kind of go a little bit off it.
But yeah, so basically, there's about a girl who is at the bottom of society. She is very poor, and she is scraping by with her family. She's trying to feed them by practicing illegal alchemy, and the way she does that is resurrecting the dead. And she gets caught because, of course, she has to be, because she's trying to take the royal exams to be a royal alchemist. That's the only person who can practice alchemy in this kingdom. So once she's caught, she makes a deal with the prince because he needs her help trying to find out who is trying to assassinate his family, and she has to use her alchemy basically to bring back any victims who might know anything about the attempt. And so there's a lot of political intrigue, a lot of there's a lot of body horror. So if you're squeamish, you might stay away from that. Yeah, but there's also I love her relationship with her cousins. They tag along with her because they also have abilities of their own. But yeah, it's sibling dynamics are always one of my favorites in books. So this is very they're very close, but also they squabble, they bicker. It's a lot of fun.
That's what we do.
Yeah, it's so much fun, and I can't wait for the next book. It's so good. Yeah, that's all I can say because there are a lot of twists.
You had me at Full Metal Alchemist. So.
Yeah,
I think it would be pretty awesome if detectives could just bring back from the dead someone. I mean, it might make it a little easier to find out who killed you.
Wasn't that the premise for that one show with Lee Pace, Pushing Daisies?
Oh, that's right. Oh my gosh, what a throwback.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I haven't thought about that show in a hot minute.
And the next one is much creepier. So this is for all the Dark Academia fans. So this is called All That Consumes Us. It doesn't come out until October 17th, but I would definitely pre-order this because it is twisty. So this follows the story of Tara. And it's unusual in a young adult because it follows her during her first year of college. You don't get a lot of that in YA. Mm-hmm. So basically, Tara comes from an abusive household that she escaped by getting a scholarship to the prestigious Corbin College. And her dream has always been to join this secret organization within the college of super talented college students called the Magniviri. But she didn't make the cut. So she's kind of just trudging along, trying to fill out all her general requirements, and she's not loving it. The only class that gets her going is this literature class because she loves writing, but she knows she can't make a career out of it. So the star of that class is this girl that she's so envious of because this girl is winning awards. She's a really talented writer. And when we open, she finds that girl's dead body in the library.
Yikes. Hate when that happens.
Yeah.
Why does it always have to be the library? It's just come on.
And then so she figures out that, oh, wow, so there's an empty spot in Magniviri.
And first place your brain goes to.
Just opportunity.
Wow, she didn't even hesitate. So there's an opening?
Yeah, so it's offered to her because apparently she was next in running. It just turns out the girl edged her out a little bit. So yeah, she takes it. She's like, okay, get me out of here. I hate my roommate. I hate my classes. I really, really want to be Magniviri and because these people go on to become politicians, famous actors and writers.
So the Illuminati.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. But as soon as she settles in, everybody's a little weird because everybody's supposed to be like an artiste or like this like tortured like sort of
Oh my God.
prodigy. And
I could just only imagine.
and
All the turtlenecks and all the.
no, it's more like pajamas and bathrobes and coffee. Yeah.
Oh man.
So like yeah, but it seems like they're like keeping something from her, and it kind of solidifies when they take her out for a ritual in the full moon, and like there's this weird bacchanalia, and she's like, from then on, she starts like having like these weird things happening to her. She feels like somebody's watching her. She's seeing like strange faces in the mirror, like, and then the thing that freaks her out the most, which I thought was the funniest thing, was she passes out during the night, and then she wakes up. And she has like pages and pages of like a novel written out. Oh. And it's like the most brilliant thing ever. Her advisor's like, this is amazing. Like, you should keep writing. And she's freaking out about this. And it's like, that's every writer's dream. Like,
Seriously, why are you freaking out?
You just
take it.
Well, she's got to finish it, right? I mean,
Yeah, but apparently she just has to go to sleep. That's not a bad approach.
Yeah, but then like the story starts getting more sinister. It's starting to get a little too close. And then everybody else is starting to act weird about her. And then she's like finding them whispering the corners around, like about her. They're like, don't tell her this, don't tell her that.
Oh boy.
So like she has to get to the bottom of like what's happening because she feels like she's losing her mind.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Some hardcore stuff, people.
Yeah. Let's
All right, so I'll lighten the mood
let's lighten the mood, please.
So I did a little backlist reading here. I never have seen, nor had I read, Hocus Pocus. And I've been roundly denounced
How?
as...
How?
Exactly. Like, how could I be, how could I hold my head up?
It's
I've checked it out. I'll get there. I'm there. But the book is good.
Good.
So I read Hocus Pocus. There's a book that's Hocus Pocus and the sequel.
Okay.
And I believe I'm correct in saying the book was written after the movie.
Yes.
But then the sequel was written, and then they did
The
the
movie.
movie
Yes.
sequel. Yes. So I liked both of them.
Okay.
I definitely... So Hocus Pocus is... it was written in 1993, I think, the first one. But it was, modern day. And it's set in Salem. This family has moved there, and everybody's kind of freaking out about Halloween. And the Sanderson sisters, speaking of siblings, and
Yes.
And bickering.
hilarious, and bickering.
So
yes.
good.
Ashley, you want to do your...
No,
No,
I don't.
okay. Ashley's...
What, the amok.
Amok.
So good.
So, but it's really amusing. At the same time, it's kind of creepy, So they accidentally... I'm blanking on his name. Max, I think, is new to town. Thank you. And he wants to prove how macho he is, so he gets the girl he's got a crush on to go to the Sandersons' house. And they accidentally call them...
Light the candle.
They light the candle. He doesn't believe any of it. Allison's not quite sure. His sister's tagging along. And so anyway, the Sandersons come and they grab his sister. It's if they can steal her lifeblood before sunrise.
Yes.
Then they're here. They're back for good.
For eternity.
For eternity, yes. So it's very amusing. I have to say, I really do need to see the movie
You
now.
do.
So
It's
good.
a classic. I
Yeah.
did not see the new one.
Okay.
But
It's all right.
I did hear I wasn't missing a whole lot. But
Yeah.
the original's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well,
it's just so good.
You
So the
can't
new
beat
one-
the original. The
Yeah,
original is
that
so-
often happens. Yes. So in the story of the new one, we jump forward, I think it's like 29 years. And it's Max and Allison are married, and it's their daughter who
Oh, okay.
doesn't know why her parents are so weird. Actually, she does know. Her parents are really weird about Halloween, and everybody in Salem loves Halloween and loves the Sanderson sisters. And her parents and her Aunt Danny, are always like, no, like don't, this is real. And she's thinking, they are so weird. And, so they take a Ouija board, once again, trying to impress a love interest. They take a Ouija board to the Sandersons' house, which I'm going to tell you, that's probably not a good idea. And she's asking a question, and it says, I'll show you, or I'll tell you. So she's reading out what they're saying, and it's got her spelling out a spell.
Wow.
Oh, jeez.
So, so it was very amusing. I really liked it. Fun, festive. And now I have to see the movie.
So good. You will not be disappointed.
Excellent.
It sounds like it's almost exactly the book, though.
Yes. Well, I think, they basically just put
like
the book into,
Got it.
Yes. I think this copy that I have was really kind of the sequel.
Yeah.
But it said, well, we'll give you the first one, in there too.
Cool.
So then the other one I read had nothing to do with Halloween. For those of you who weren't, looking for a Halloween book or a scary book or, I read American Royals, which that is a backlist title. The fourth one is out right now. I haven't read the fourth one yet, but this is one of those ones that you like. And
who's it by?
Katharine McGee. Thank you.
Yeah.
Totally would hand this to teenagers, no problem whatsoever, and then would probably try to hide the fact that I thought it was really good.
We all have that one title that we
a soap
absolutely
opera.
love. Yeah.
It's a soap opera in a book. So Katharine McGee asked us to reimagine American history.
Okay.
George Washington was offered the crown and accepted it. And so America is a monarchy. And
that's so cool.
200 and however many years later, Beatrice Washington is first in line. She's the heir to the throne. Her twin siblings, Samantha and Jefferson, are the spare and the spare to the spare, And the only people who pay attention to them, they only get attention Jefferson gets a lot of attention because he's attractive and he's a prince and, everybody's after him, including Samantha's best friend, who's been in love with him forever.
Of course.
But she has to watch out because scheming, conniving, social climbing Daphne, her parents insist that Daphne has to marry the prince, whatever it takes.
Oh, boy.
So, and then Samantha's busy thinking the only way I get any attention is if I'm doing things that I get in trouble for. So she's busy,
getting in trouble,
throwing parties, maybe falling in love with Beatrice's fiance, things like that.
So she's Margaret. She's the Margaret, yeah.
So wait, I have to back up. Okay. Actually, Beatrice's father's pushing her hard to pick a fiance.
Okay.
So they've created a list of suitable American aristocracy.
Gentlemen squires.
Right? I mean, the son of the Duke of Boston is very eligible.
This is so interesting.
There is an Earl of Orange, which is Southern California.
That's amazing.
It's awesome, though. I mean, it's so much fun. So there's 4 of these. I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
It's very fast moving. And it is just like, watching a slow motion train wreck, but you can't look away.
Oh my God.
I mean, we even have people in comas, and you're visiting them at the bedside.
Wow.
It's all in there.
I love it.
It's all in there.
I love it.
So.
It sounds good.
It's a lot of fun, and apparently I'm not the only one who likes it because there's a
it
fourth
goes out
book.
all the time.
Yeah,
like I feel like I never.
I couldn't find it. I was gonna grab it to just
to have it.
Yeah, but nope, it's out.
Oh man,
those are mine.
Well, thank you, ladies. I'm so happy to be back, and I think we kicked off our new season on the right foot. We got some pretty scary reads.
And Hocus Pocus.
And Hocus Pocus, which is like our classic. But thank
you can always count on me to lighten the mood.
Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully you guys tune in again. We'll be back in November, same time, same place. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.